Hey everyone, this is Frugal Panda here. Now this is going to be a long video. This is a video of me in Loveland, Colorado. You see my other videos where we went to Boyd State Lake. Boyd State Lake, or excuse me, Boyd Lake State Park is a. Here's a quick look inside my 2014 Forester Classic. I think I've shown the inside before. I've removed the refrigerator out of it. I didn't like that propane one, and I didn't even use it. And I have an electric one. I'll leave a link in the description of some of the ones I use. Anyway, I've been here before. I was in Boyd Lake State Park, and I saw when I was riding the last time, there was signs for downtown Loveland, stuff like that. And I said, oh, I want to explore it. So I actually had time, and I planned it out. My son, who's now 15, it was going fishing, so he was going to be fishing, and I just took the bike and rode. He didn't want to go, and I took off down there. I followed the signs for downtown. Now, if you saw the title of the video and everything, I ran out of power, so let's talk about that first and get it out of the way real quick, or part of it anyway. I miscalculated coming back, took the wrong way, and I realized you don't take this one trail the whole way. You actually have to split off, and that's where I missed it, and I ran out of power. It was my fault, of course. And also, I was using the throttle because I didn't plan on missing the turn coming back, and I just rode around and lollygagged a lot too, to be honest with you. I used the throttle and had it at a higher rate of speed a lot of the time too. So I had to ride for like 10 miles with a 70-pound bike, and let me tell you, it's no joke. When I say I got to work out, I got to work out. But it was all right. I'll talk a little bit more about it in a little bit. And anyway, and this is, I'm riding the Lectric XP 3.0, and this is with the long range battery. 65 miles is supposed to be the farthest it can go. That's on level one, which no one's hardly going to use. Sweet spot for me is level 3. I used 4 and 5 a lot this time, and so that's how I ended up, running out of power partly too, and getting lost. Anyway, Loveland has a population around 78,000 people, probably more like 80,000. There hasn't been a census done in a while. Loveland's about 46 miles away from Denver, Colorado, in Larimer County. So I'm guessing quite a few people probably commute to Denver. Quite a few people probably commute to Fort Collins for work. I'm talking for work. And of course, people work here too because it's a decent sized small city. It's like the 14th largest city in Colorado, most populous city in Colorado. What do I think of Loveland? I think Loveland is a really nice, smaller city. I think Loveland is a place where you can raise your children. I think Loveland is a place where not 100 people are lined up to pick their kids up in their car because Lord knows they don't want them walking home. And how I say that, school was still in when we were down here, even though my son was out. And I was watching little kids walk home from school, getting out of school. Little big kids, with the backpack as big as them. That tells you something about an area. So they're downtown. I was curious about their downtown, so I wanted to check it out a little bit. And I will be coming back to Loveland, so don't worry. I'll probably do some videos of me walking around in downtown Loveland and stuff when I do come back. One thing you'll also notice about Loveland, before I forget, their elevation here is about 4,997 feet. I saw homeless people here. Yes, it wasn't an abundance, like a huge amount, but there was homeless folks, and some of them honestly reminded me of like growing up in Indiana, places like that. Your town, we called them hobos back in the day. Town hobos, town homeless. Like, oh, that's John or that's Jim. Jim's been picking up cans for 50 years. Some of them, and then some of them look like what you see in Denver and places like that. But was there an overabundance of them? No, there wasn't. And I'm willing to bet that they will not allow that here. But remind yourself, it's a city of around 80,000 people. You'll notice also about Loveland, lots of waterways. You can see right here, I'm riding down a canal, or it looks like a canal right here. There's water all over. Riding in here, there's lakes, there's just reservoirs. There's a lot of water around Loveland, and I'm talking this in comparison to Colorado. We're not talking Oregon, we're not talking Washington or Pacific Northwest. We're talking Colorado. Do we have lakes? Yes, we do. Do we have things like that? Do we have huge ones? Someone commented on my things, and we're talking about Pueblo being a pond, and no one cares, guy. We're talking about Colorado. We can only compare Colorado to what it is, Colorado. So what you'll notice about Loveland is it's very there's lots of waterways. You can get like cool houses that sit on these waterways, like these canals. Other areas where they sit on the reservoirs. Other areas where they sit on a lake, and their housing prices are still fair. They are probably a lot more expensive than they have been in the past, but they're nowhere near Denver. Hence why probably a lot of people move here. Is that as well as it's a nice little city, and I'm saying little because I live in larger cities, and it's not a detriment to the place. I think it's a perfect size. I think it's a great size for a lot of people. It's got all the amenities you need. It's got a proximity to Fort Collins if you want to go there. It's got a proximity to Wyoming. You're not that far from the border with Wyoming either. The mountains sit right there. I don't know if any of my video shows you how close the mountains are around you and how they surround you, but they really do. It's a beautiful area, super green. Everyone's pretty nice, doing their own thing. I can't say anything negative about that. The Lectric XP 3.0 did really well. When I did get back this time, guess what I did? I finally put a better seat on. I'll put a link to the seat that I've used. I've done a video on it before, the Giddy Up. So it's a Giddy Up seat. I'll leave a link in the description for that too. I've used it on one of my old bikes, and it worked very well. I was very, very happy with this. Now, don't get me wrong, Lectric XP's 3.0's seat that comes with it is much better than what it has been in the past, but it's still not the same as one with springs and a little wider and a little more comfier. Getting back to Loveland real quick, though. People had chickens. Like, I'd ride through here. I didn't get any video of it, but like I saw chickens in people's backyards. Somebody had like a ton of goats. They had at least 20 goats in their backyard. I thought it was really cool. But there was all these goats and stuff. There's apartments up here. If you're interested in moving here or living here or commuting in, I saw very nice apartments outside of this, very nice houses, things like that. As I said in this ride right here, I'm in the hunt for downtown. I gotta see downtown. Downtown tells a lot about a city. And this is maybe, I don't know if this is their full downtown or more their historic area. And I'm kind of betting this area may be a little bit of their historic area. I'm not going to do a bunch of research, guys. I don't do a bunch of research for like smaller cities like this. It's a lot more fun when you just do an adventure and you check out something than sometimes knowing everything. Now, will I look at stuff, this things maybe possibly to do if I'm not for sure and plan out things? Sometimes I do. This one I didn't. This is on a whim. I'm taking off downtown. It started getting overcast. I was also going downhill this whole time, by the way. So I was like, oh, this is downhill. And so I went downhill, and which I would pay for later when I start running out of charge. And I'm coming back, and I'm going uphill, and it's freaking windy. And it was really windy. You can see these are the downtown neighborhoods I'm riding through right here. So I found downtown, and as you can see here, you're seeing part of it. It's like I figured an older downtown, and that's not negative. That's a good thing. I really love these old downtowns. I didn't super explore it this time. I want to leave it and leave a lot of it for when I come back with my wife, so me and her can, park the car, ride our bikes down here and park them and walk around and stuff. I don't want, I kind of want to save a lot of it for me and her to go check it out. Go check out, an antique store, some of the little local downtown shops, get a bite to eat, things like that. So I rode around. I was curious about what it looked like, and I wasn't really surprised. I figured it was like this, which was okay with me. And then I also wanted to check out the actual downtown houses and neighborhoods, because the neighborhoods closer to downtown say a lot about an area. They tell you a lot about it. Well, what's it like? Is it ran down or is it not? And you see I'm riding through here, not straight down the street. I want to say is one of their local elementary schools, and I was riding by randomly when the bell rang and watched all the little kids rush out, a lot of them walking home, catching the bus, stuff like that. Typical smaller city like this. I can't tell you anything about the job market, but if you know anything about the job market in Colorado, we have a very, very, very strong economy. We've had it for years and years. If you're not working in Colorado, you don't want to work. I mean, I'm saying if you're not retired, you got a documented disability, things like that. But folks that do not have jobs in Colorado, they don't want to work. There are too many jobs, and it doesn't matter if you have 6-year degree like me, or I don't even know what my degree is, or you didn't finish high school, you will get a job. You just will. Just an example of this: if you live in one of the small towns in front of Colorado, away from Denver, you could literally work in Denver, and I think they pay $18-19 an hour. They're going to be at like $20 minimum wage within a year or two. No joke. So literally, people can drive in just to work at McDonald's and have a decent little place back in some small city or small town in Colorado with no problem. Anyway, this is downtown. This is the downtown community. This is the neighborhood. It was nice. I liked it, and sometimes it doesn't do a lot of justice when you're using a GoPro. And I have a GoPro mounted on my Lectric XP 3.0. If you're curious, and then it got overcast. That's what and it kind of makes it kind of, for a lot of people, it's like, yeah, I don't know, but it's not sunny. It's like when I went to Port Angeles. Port Angeles in Washington was super, super nice. But it was also sunny, which made it look so perfect in comparison than if it was probably overcast and raining. But anyway, getting back to this, a lot of these houses in downtown Loveland are super cute. I saw older couples. I saw also younger couples that looked like they just bought a place and they were like working on them and stuff like that out there. But they were super cute. Near downtown, I'm telling you, people buy these places in these areas a lot of times for one, convenience, being able to walk downtown to their favorite coffee shop or get a bite to eat or go to the antique or just walk around. Walkability wise, well, you see all the sidewalks in downtown Loveland. There's so many sidewalks here that you're going to be you can walk a lot of places here with no problem. But like I said, this downtown, a lot of the houses are older, but super nice. I didn't see too many houses that were like ran down. I didn't see a lot of broke down cars with no wheels on them or rims or anything. No, it just looked like a nice downtown. And then you have to remind yourself, this also isn't a city of 5,000. This is a city of around 80,000 people. So it's large. It's a large city. Also, it was founded in 1877. Yeah. Look at this. It's just, I thought it was a super cute place. Even on a cloudy day like this, it wasn't like this. The day didn't start out like this anyway. But yeah, I saw this and I was like, oh, I like this little city. And I will be back. That's one thing about it. I will be coming back to this city. Right now, as you see, I'm just cruising around. This would get me later on because I'm just cruising around. Little did I know I wasn't watching my charge well enough, and I would run out. And by the way, with my Lectric XP, it was the first time I've ran out of charge ever on an e-bike, I want to say. Ever. Never done that before. And I didn't even have to run out of charge because my other bike uses the same type of battery. It's just a smaller one, but it fits and everything, so I could have another 20 miles, but I didn't bother. I was like, I'll leave it at home. Next time I'm bringing it, just in case. Anyway, see all the little houses and all this. The roads were nice, white picket fences. A lot of this stuff is kind of typical, what you'd see in like smaller communities like this. Why people run to them. Once people get a certain age, and not all young people want to run to the city, but a lot of people start figuring out things that they want that's more important. They like the city. They love everything about the large cities, and they're great to visit. But a lot of them want to come back when they're done visiting or going to check out some cool place in a big city to a nice, slower pace of life, quiet. And I'm not going to say Loveland's super quiet. It's not a super small city like that, but it is much quieter than Denver. You could ride around at rush hour, which I did on my bike, and it's not all jam-packed like that, steady traffic, similar to Pueblo, which is around 200,000 or so people. Even at rush hour, you're not blowing a gasket over it. While you're here, check out Boyd Lake State Park. Check out the Devil's Backbone out here in Larimer too. It's a pretty cool little hiking trip. You can see my little video when I went to the wishing well. There's the museum. If you want to know about Loveland's history, it was founded in 1877, by the way. Like I said, I'm just riding around. There's a Safeway right there. With that said, I can tell you there's charging stations up here if you have an EV at Jack's Outdoor Gear, which is huge. It's actually a really cool outdoor gear place. They have all types of stuff there. There's other chargers too. There's a Walmart. There's a Home Depot. there's what the part you call, I guess you call the bypass area, where there's a lot of other businesses. I'm in more so downtown this time. I didn't take any picture of the bypass area where a lot of their businesses are as well. But all the amenities you would expect of a city of about 80,000 people, it has. So you're not going to have to drive 100 miles to go get groceries because they only have a tiny little grocery store. But one thing I will say about that, which I think is funny, when I go to Crestone and some small cities, towns like that, I love going to those little supermarkets like that and seeing what they got. I think they're so cool. And people listen to people talk because they know each other. You hear them talking like, so how'd it go? Did you get your house or did you get your apartment? Oh, yeah, I did. And I remember you talking about 6 months ago. But people know each other, and it's kind of cool to see them and stuff. By all means, also go to Crestone. Crestone is a trip, and I mean it in a good way. It's kind of cool to see all these different people. You may be in a grocery store somewhere and you might see a Buddhist monk walk through, a Hindu monk, a minister, things like that. Crestone's a cool little city too, little town. So right now, I'm getting out more, I guess you say, more in a suburban area of Loveland. Is where I'm actually going. I'm in right now. Right now, you start seeing me turn around some. That means I'm slowly getting lost. I'm basically what I'm doing is I'm on the hunt for the trail system. And the thing is I had no excuse. I could have went right back to, but I wanted to ride around. But I rode around, but I should have went right back to downtown and backtracked to where I was when I was ready to leave, and I didn't. So I said, oh, well, I'll pick up the trail system somewhere else. And I did pick up a trail system, but I didn't turn off the trail system when I needed to onto another trail system that took me right to Boyd Lake. And you have to be careful in Loveland because they have a couple of reservoirs and waterways that may confuse you. And you may think you're Boyd Lake and you're not, or you're clear across Boyd Lake and it's a pretty big ride. This is the bypass area you're seeing right here. You're not seeing a lot of it, but this is the super busy area. If I turn left or I turn right, you would there'd be all these businesses, Applebee's. I'm just throwing out. I don't know if they have an Applebee's, but like the franchise restaurants, stuff like that. So what I'm doing is I'm slowly ended up making my way out towards the suburbs. Because one thing I do remember as I look for the trail system is you go through the suburban area of Loveland before you get to downtown. I'm not going to say the suburban area is nicer. I don't believe it is. I think they're bigger houses, newer houses, of course, and a lot of them sit on the lakes. I think that's cool too. Where would I live? If it was just me and her, like me and my wife, we'd live in downtown. I would love to live there. With my son, I don't know. I mean, he's 15 now. I mean, he's going to be 16. It's not as big a deal now. It's probably not even a big deal. So you can see I'm starting to go in the suburban area, so you can see how the houses are changing. And then a lot of it, and also I'm using Google Maps this time, or Apple Maps. One of them that shows me the trails. And it keeps trying to tell me to go through this part that says no trespassing, and there's no actual trail. And it kept trying to take me to this part. And so I circled through it like 5 times, and no, you can't use that. And there was nothing there. I was going to ride on grass all the way around the lake or something. So, one thing you'll notice about Loveland too is so many different birds. I saw a no hunting sign in the city right off one of the canals. It said no hunting and no BB guns. And right then afterwards, I rode past a wild turkey out there hanging out in downtown. There was a wild turkey. Almost got attacked by geese. Of course, they want to sit with their goslings on the actual trail. So I already knew already. So I had to split through the grass as they hissed and tried to come after me. But I'm a little too fast for them, But no, as you see, we're riding through. It's very nice. Lots of different people around here. Nothing going on. I saw one homeless person that may have been questionable in regards to like mental illness and stuff. That was kind of noisy. That's to be expected. You can expect that anywhere. Not just in big cities. You might find it in smaller cities. And I'm guessing the cops or whoever knows who he is. Oh, that's Earl. Earl's harmless or whatever, things like that. Anyway, so I'm starting to drive through. I'm making my way towards the suburbs, but as you notice, I'm making my way more towards the suburban area, the areas closer to the Boyd Lake and stuff. The houses start getting newer. They start getting bigger. But I like the downtown. I like the quirkiness of the different types of houses. I love seeing older houses fixed up. I think because they have character. My house, for example, I have a newer house. My house is like 3,500 square feet. It's cool. It has no character. That's just the reality of it. It has no real character. It's a cool house and, nice area and stuff like that. And these houses are still nice. They still look like they got a little character, but they're slowly getting bigger. They start looking a little bit like each other as you keep going towards the lake, and then you'll start seeing them sitting on the lake. They'll have docks on them for their boat. Now, that is one thing I do like, is how they can, you just basically put your bike, your boat on the dock. So anyway, that's what I'm seeing, and it's not showing, it's not really tell, but it's kind of windy, and this is all uphill now, the ways I'm going to. Now, the Lectric XP 3.0 long range, how did it do? It did good. I've never had any problems with it. The only problem I ever had was with my 1.0, and that's also being more of a new EV rider, e-bike rider. The mistakes I made. The one mistake I did not make was riding on sand. They said you could, which burnt out the controller partly while I was out there. But the mistake I did make was I forgot to air my tires, so I had shark bites, and I ended up getting a flat while out there. And that's what it was. Not a big deal. It happens. You learn from it, and always carry some other tubes. And I learned I always have tubes. I have tubes in all my cars. But regardless, so now I'm riding. But the Lectric XP 3.0, no issues. It did great, everyone. Yeah, I enjoyed my time. It gets me around. You get a little bit of exercise here and there, and then here I got a lot of exercise. Riding with no power or 10 miles on a 70-pound bike. That was some exercise. Thank God the sun kept hiding at the end. I was bummed at first, and I realized, no, it was better to not have sun. I haven't been drenched. I got back. My son was like, where you been? I was gone a while. I was gone a long, long time. So yeah, when I got back to the camper, my son was like, what in the world? And so here you see me going through the trail, so I'm thinking I'm on the right way home. Sorta. But there was one turn I missed. Something you got to be mindful on bikes, e-bikes more so. It's so much easier to miss certain turns that you needed to do because you get caught up in the moment of riding, just looking around. I become a looky-loo also on an e-bike. So I miss a turn or something like, oh no. And then Google Maps or Apple Maps, they still aren't very as good as they should be with bikes, unfortunately. So they'll try and take you some crazy way. And I was also avoiding, because I could have probably got back. I know I could have gotten back if I just acted like and put it in as a car instead of a bike and just took the roads back. But I didn't. And that's my fault. I just did that. And, I was like, I just didn't feel like it. This has been a good thing riding. I love their trail system. So I wanted to keep riding. Now, with that being said, the trail system is really, really good here. Water everywhere. Lots of, I think it's beautiful out here. Super green, thanks to all the water, and probably runoff from coming down from the mountains and everything like that. By the way, when we were here, we went to Buc-ee's on our way out here. Buc-ee's is an experience. I'll get a better video of it one day. But I went to Buc-ee's, spent over $100 and some, like a lot of people do the first time you go there. Oh, there's the geese. They're about to try and attack me. I already knew enough, so I had to blast past them. I didn't even bother. Rode through the grass and got out of here real quick. I was like, I'm not even going to play with you guys. And they're looking at me. They watching me because they got the goslings with them. Anyway, I went to Buc-ee's during this trip. It was a great trip. I had a blast. We had a lot of fun. And coming to Loveland was a good, say something about Loveland. I'll say about some other cities too. And some of these cities you drive through and you don't pay attention to. Some cities, wherever you're at, you get gas and you don't even bother with it. I've lived in Colorado 20 plus years. Well, since, I don't know, it's going to be more than that. One of my first duty station was Colorado Springs. So I was here for a long time. And that was in the 90s. So, and I left, and then I ended up getting out of the military, and then came back and moved back here. So I've lived here a long time, but there's cities I would ignore. They're just stops on my way to somewhere I thought was cooler. And I tell you this, I would make sure, if I was you or anyone else, every once in a while, stop in these little cities. Sometimes they may surprise you. And for me, a lot of the time, these smaller cities have really surprised me over the years. Like Loveland. I've been here 20 plus years and I've never checked it out. Maybe to get gas, and that was it. What helped me also figure it out a little bit more was looking for EV stations. So I wanted to find, so I ended up stopping here at Jack's Outdoors for an EV station and then cruised around. But you get stuff like this. Look at this. It's beautiful. It's windy out, but it is beautiful. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I want to thank you all for watching. Go check out Loveland. Go check out your local smaller cities and stuff. They'll surprise you. Some good stuff there. Have a good day, everyone. Bye.